Let's go back to a lady who kissed many frogs before she found her prince. I can bet that if you go ask ladies who married one of the few best husbands in the world, you will find out that they had a story similar to this. Chioma came back home to receive this terrible news from her boyfriend Davis. He is a forex trader who has lost so much money in the game. The irony of it all is that all the money he had lost came from her, and now again, he has just lost $5,000 again. This was the money she was meant to use to restock her perfume business when she lent him the money, and now all is gone. All Davis needed again is another $2,000 in his new strategy, and he will recover all the lost money. At this point, Chioma lost it on him. She was done with him. She regretted everything she had with him for the past 2 years because she has spent a lot from his fake real estate business to some drop-shipping deal that she even took out a loan to buy him a car for his Uber business, and yet there was no return on investment. She really meant it when she said that she was done. She told him to take off everything that he was putting on from his shirt to his necklace. Watch, shoes, and even his pants all belonged to her. She threw him out of her house without a pin. This dude doesn't even have an apartment of his own. But let's be realistic. Were all these necessary? Because a man will not strip a woman naked just because he wants to end the relationship. Going back to the ladies here, why do women who have a good heart and ambition easily fall for lazy men who see opportunities in using them? Chioma is a hard-working lady who heads the marketing department at her workplace with a hostile boss who doesn't appreciate her efforts, and at every given moment is at the top of her voice raining insults on her. Aside from her career and workplace, she has a sweet personality to the point that her exes still want her back. Tolu, her colleague at work, brought in a gift from one of her exes. She doesn't want these guys again, but they kept coming. Could it be that why they keep coming back was the fact that she literally spends her money on them? She wouldn't accept such a gift, so she called Tolu and gave it to her. She also got a call that day from her mother about her cousin's introduction that will be held over the weekend in Anambra. She promised that she will be there. Welcome to Anambra, the home of riches. Her cousin is very happy to see her. They were talking when what seemed to look like her prince came. You know how something tells us deep down that this is the chosen one for us, even when we act naive over our instinct. Let's say Chioma saw him as one of those random admirers. She's still the hard nut to crack when it comes to the kind of man she wants. So she'd rather focus on her work than think about what these men will do for her. Her mother already had a plan over her coming back to hook her up with a good-looking man even though he is not her type. The introduction is over. She just wants to be left alone from distractions, but she can't hide long from Obiora. This handsome-looking man is a caring, loving, and hilarious man. He is the same man her mother has been talking about, and the most fascinating thing is that this man told her from the very first day that she is going to be his wife. This may sound laughable, but how many men have walked up to you and told you this on the first day, and now he is your husband? They spent good moments together in his guest house until she slept off. Now what quality can you make as a man like the Odogwu himself? It's called self-respect. He slept on the couch and watched her sleep like her security guard. Every woman sees this protection in a man with uncommon characters like this, but she just stood up quietly, picked up her belongings, and came back to Lagos. Her friends, Evie and Ify, picked her from the airport. They were also curious to know how it all went, coupled with the information they gathered from her mother about hooking her up with Obiora. Chioma told her friends about her wonderful experience with the caring young man, which makes him so different, but she is not interested. The ladies were happy for her, unlike the unfortunate Davis that she had as a boyfriend. Ify is a lawyer, and she swore to collect back every single pin from him. It's a new week at the office again, with her hostile boss clamping at her again. They were still talking when she heard voices that seemed like cultural music downstairs. She went down only to find Obiora and a band of a music team that he calls his friends. Chioma can choose to run away, but he will always find her. Obiora came for just one thing, which is to collect her phone number. Not until her boss interrupted with her arrogance again to call on the security to send him out. Let's say Obiora knew that something of such an embarrassment to his personality will happen, so he bought the entire building that morning before coming with his band of musicians to make a scene. So which lady wouldn't get elated with such a man who can pull down a forest for her? That evening was already planned out for a date. He admired her beauty at first glance by complimenting her and also offered her a seat. Everything about Obiora looks different, like he had mastered the art of relationship. Chioma could sense the difference, unlike other dates she had, where the man kept talking about himself and his relevance just to entice her. Obiora was different and just wanted to hear her talk as an active listener. He brought her home as well and made sure that she went inside before he left, but Chioma felt more like this night shouldn't come to an end. They could feel the chemistry and kissed. To a man, it could be like one of those days, but a woman would see it as everything when she asked him to go inside with her. Obiora has self-control as a man. He wouldn't want her to see it as one of those days if they have sex. He told her that he was here for a mission, which is to marry her and not for fun, so he left with this desire already buried inside of her. Should we say that sometimes women don't know what they want? At one moment she had this feeling for him to the point that she almost had sex with him if he had agreed, and now she's ghosting him. And even when she is avoiding him, she still receives his gift while she watches her phone ring. Then, why did she reject the other gift from the first guy? The truth is that a woman who knows her worth wouldn't accept gifts from men she has nothing with. More and more as the gifts kept piling like it was her wedding, yet she wouldn't pick his calls. So, what could be the problem? Even her friends were not happy with her. Her kind of guy is a young, sweet, handsome-looking man with posh English. Obiora fits into all these, but his accent weighs him off balance. Obiora came back from Anambra to see her after days of ignoring his calls with more gifts. All he could remember from the last time was that he denied her of sex. He was ready to have it right there. Chioma couldn't confront him. She asked him if they could talk about it later because she was busy. Obiora had to give her the space she wanted, but to her greatest surprise, the space she wanted was for his inconvenience. He had waited all day for her to finish with what she was doing, and as a man of intentions, dealing with the issue is his priority. He took her to his home with a well-prepared meal made by him. After all qualities in him, he is still good in the kitchen, so what's left of a man? Some women will want to also see his capacity on bed, but let's leave that to Chioma to testify. Chioma felt really guilty, so she started the conversation without being asked. She told him that she don't like the Igbo men because they are over-caring and don't like to see their women advance their career. Obiora laughed because the main reason he likes her is because she is ambitious and different from other ladies who see relationships as a means of extortion. Chioma finally had to confess that the main reason was his accent, which gave her an ache. At that point, Obiora felt weak. He knows he can do anything for her, buy her the most expensive gift in the world, but how does he change the accent that he was born with? Even though he was angry, he never expressed it to the woman he loves, but rather he would let his actions speak. Regardless of how it all goes, she can't change the nice man in him. To him, his being angry at her doesn't mean that he should be mean to her. To him, it is what it is. The same goes the other way, that no matter what gift made of diamond and gold that a man buys for you, you cannot change the fact that he maltreats you if it is in him. Ify still meant it when she said that she will sue Davis for all he did to Chioma. He came to her house the next day to ask her about the lawsuit. Chioma never had a hand in this, but she was surprised that he finally made it. But instead of paying her back the money he lent, he spent them lavishly on women, drinking and clubbing. She thinks that he deserves the $12,000 lawsuit. Days later, there was good news. Ify was on the call with her and asked Chioma to check her account. She saw a credit of $12,000 sent by Davies. This was one of the biggest surprises she has ever seen because she never had it in mind of refunding. Now, she can restock her perfume business. Be sure that it is good to have friends who have got your back covered. This is to men. If there is nothing you can learn from the qualities this young man possess, make sure that you don't chase a woman. If you like a woman, let her know. Do what you think is ideal and leave her to make her decisions on whether to stay or leave. Chioma hasn't heard from him for days. She missed him and had to call him. She told him that she can't stop thinking about him. This shouldn't surprise him because he is confident in himself that there is no woman who wouldn't want him. This time, he even made playful jokes to her with his accent by indirectly telling her that everything about him is what it is. She either stays or leaves. Even at that, he still keeps to his words that he will marry her and she will be back when she is tired of running. Days later, the ladies came to a jewelry store to check out a particular necklace. Chioma went upstairs to check out for other jewelry. This particular one caught her attention. She wanted it, but it was way off her budget for $17,000. She was still gazing at it when Odogwu came in. He came into town the previous night for his niece's graduation, so he came here to get her a diamond jewel. Chioma thinks she can help him get what he's looking for. She finally got the best for his niece. Ify and Evie came up to meet with their friend. They got what they were also looking for. Chioma's friends haven't seen Obiora before until he proved himself at the instance. He told the lady to bring the $17,000 necklace, and the ones the ladies were holding together with that of his niece. Ladies love surprises because they never saw this big one coming as they kept hailing him. He introduced himself as Chioma's husband with all confidence. That alone makes her love him the most. They went out together to get lunch. It was such a wonderful day for the ladies as they kept revealing their friendly past to Odogwu, especially about Chioma during their childhood days. He brought her back as usual. This time she insisted that they go inside. She has fallen in love with him that she can't help it any longer, and the harder she tries to resist him, the deeper she falls. But Obiora still has his self-control intact. Ever since then, she has been the one calling and checking on him. If Obiora had persisted in getting her, he would have lost his respect even with his money. This is how a man should act. Chioma wanted to lure him in to come over to her house for dinner. Perhaps she wants them to make love to know his strength in there. Let's say she happens to be the kind of lady who prioritizes sex in her marriage to be sure that her man can satisfy her, while other ladies prefer no sex before marriage. Obiora enjoyed the meal, and finally they made love. Chioma wishes she could just stay on the bed with him forever. This time she is in, and there is no going back. Now is the right time to ask him this one question. She had always had in mind that her mother told her that he rejected a bunch of women presented to him in a community. So why did he choose her? This is one question a woman who wants to be your girl will ask you first, which is about the other ladies in your life. He told her that all his life he has patiently waited for the right woman, and the moment he saw her, he knew that she would be his wife. That night, Chioma had a call at around 3 a.m. It was her boss. To Obiora, this was unprofessional. He decided to pick the call when she asked him to ignore it. All he could hear were insults upon insults from her boss. Obiora wouldn't tolerate such insolence from her and lambasted her for such an effrontery. He introduced himself to her boss, who happens to be her landlord, and she never mentioned a word again. He gave her a federal warning never should she call this number in an ungodly hour in her life. The next day at the office, she was with Tolu when her boss walked in to give her a task to do. She tried to apologize for the previous night, but her boss interrupted her that the next time her sugar daddy threatens her, she will fire her. Chioma may accept her insults, but not to a man of his class and style. First, she told her boss that Obiora is not her sugar daddy, but her boyfriend, and secondly, on no account should she call her in such an hour, or she would sue the company for several violations of labor law and several counts of abuse in the workplace and with other threats. Chioma told her that failure to do that, she will ask her generous boyfriend to make her directors an offer that they cannot refuse, thereby making her the CEO, and she fires her. I can tell you that it's only when a man's confidence is upright can he transfer the same confidence to his woman to be heard? The man of his words came in to see his wife. He came to pick her up, but found out that she is still busy after office hours. He wants to be sure that her boss is not stressing her and wants to know how much she is being paid. Obiora was devastated with her salary and asked her why don't she focus her energy on growing her perfume business. Chioma talked about how a very large capital is needed to make her focus on her business, but not from him, even when he offered to give her the money that she needed. The conversation was beginning to get him upset with the fact that he is not being regarded because any woman that loves a man will accept his money. He had one question for her, which was will she accept his marriage proposal if he comes to her? Chioma's silence gave him the answer that he needed, that it had been a disrespect to him to have been beating on a drum without a sound. She knew that Obiora is too good to deserve this. Regardless of all she did to him, he wouldn't get upset at her as he kept calling her, but she wouldn't pick up her calls. The question is, what could really be the reason for her doubts towards him? The truth is that there is something holding her back from giving him her trust. This has nothing to do with the young man, but something that she grew up with. So what could it be? Her friends had to help her. They called Obiora, who was already angry at her, for a talk. He told the ladies that they have 15 minutes so that he can catch up with his flight. Ify started with Chioma's father, who was a wealthy man and had the same personality like him with his accent. Her father had a wife in the UK while she and her mother stayed here in Nigeria. Only for her to find out that her mother was only his mistress when the legally married wife came back to Nigeria to harass her. Ever since then, she hated her father and any man who reminds her of her father. Obiora was yet to find out how that has anything to do with him. Evie told him that it was the reason why she prefers guys who speak posh English, who are broke and not wealthy like her father, the same tribe and so many attitudes related to him. Obiora just happened to relate to everything like her father. She has just been patiently waiting for the other shoe to drop like him, having a family somewhere while he came here to deceive her. She just wants to be sure that her late father came back in a human form to hurt her like he did to her mother. Obiora couldn't find reason with them. He thanked the ladies for their effort and left. Meanwhile, Chioma has been thinking lately about Obiora's advice on being her own boss. There is no day she comes to the office and goes back without an insult from her boss. It was high time that she left. She offered to pay Tolu double of her salary if she works for her in her perfume store and asked her to tender both their resignation letter to the HR department and also pack her belongings from the office and join her. Ify came unannounced to her house with good news again. This surprise came special as she asked her to wait while she went to get it. It was Obiora. Everyone thought that he had given up on her with her several unapologetically excuses. Now he understands the whole panorama behind her frequent change of mind. He may have the similarities of her late father, but waiting to see the other shoe, like her friends told him, will be waiting forever because he has no other family outside if he cannot start a family with her. Chioma keeps loving him the more whenever he talks and breeds confidence in her that she can always trust him. She is willing to take the risk now, and as a matter of fact, she wants to propose to him. Odogwu is a titled man, and it is an abomination for a woman to propose to a titled man. He saw this coming, and he came prepared with her diamond ring. So I ask again, who said that there is no prince waiting at the end of several delayed frogs?
Thanks for watching. Please comment your thoughts and also like and share this video for more super amazing videos that we are bringing to you. And if you're watching from our YouTube channel, you can also subscribe and turn on your notification for more. Thank you.